you're writing code. You're writing the code of what you want. I feel like I have kind of mastered it to the point where it's a bit witchy how quickly things happen for me. When you can be delusional with your friends together, like that is so powerful. I put like start a business on my 2025 bingo. It's like magic. Literally my life will be exactly as the picture was. If something is still on there that you still want, it will happen. You just have to let life surprise you. It is life changing. And I'm not being exaggerating. Like I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It is life changing. Hi everyone. My name is Mahika and today we're going to talk all about vision boards. So I have been making vision boards every year since I was 11 and I'm 22 now. And I feel like I have kind of mastered it to the point where it's a bit witchy how quickly things happen for me. And my vision boards are now slowly kind of turning into pictures from my album, from my camera roll and collages, and I love them. I have like this compulsive desire to make a vision board very, very often, and I really enjoy them. I find them as a really good tool to motivate me, to energize me, to reroute me when I'm feeling lost, to ground me when I'm feeling scared. So if you like vision boards, if you've never made a vision board, if you're a skeptic, this is your video. If you are a manifestation person, this is your video. If you are in any way, shape or form a goal person, this is your video. If you're a visual or artsy person, this is your video. Okay, you get the drill. Let's talk about vision boards. So what is a vision board? I feel like the manifestation community, some people find it a little bit alienating. They think it's a bit woo-woo. But even if you are a very practical, logical in your brain person, vision boards, you can just think of them as action boards because we have this thing in our brain called the reticular activating system, which is basically the filter that helps us make sense of the knowledge that we see, the information that we see in the world. And so the more of what you see, the more of what you notice, right? Like if you keep seeing something, you're going to notice more of it, which is why sometimes like when you buy a new car, you see all the other cars on the road are the same car as yours. It's not because that's magically happened. It's just because you're noticing it more. And so by making a vision board and making a tangible kind of visual representation of what you want to bring into your life, you don't have to trust that some greater power is going to do it for you. You can do it for yourself. If you are a manifestation spiritual girly though, this is also your video because whilst all the things around goal setting and reticular activating system is true, you can also allow some space for serendipity, surprise, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to do its action as well. And so vision boards, when I started, I was 11 and I would get magazines and I would cut pictures out and stick them on like a big canvas board. And I've had one in my room literally since I was a child. Every single year I would make one. And I loved it. But I'm not going to lie, when I started making vision boards at the start, it was a little bit like toxic because it was this mindset around like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not who I like. I'm not the person I want to be. Let me change it. Let me create this alternate reality that feels very, very far away. And in some ways, like it felt a little bit escapist because the things that I put on the board just felt so far away from the person I was and where I was and how I felt about myself. And so it took me a long time to like tweak the way that I do it to make it into more of a joy bringing exercise rather than an anxiety bringing exercise. And I think as soon as I made that switch, things have just started happening for me really quickly. So first things first, first change I made was I stopped going into magazines and I started looking for my own pictures like through the internet because I found that going through magazines made it really limited in that whatever was in the magazine, I would try and use it even if it wasn't the most relevant to me. And now I'm super intentional with the pictures that I use. And so I have like digital vision boards. I have one as my like laptop screensaver. My phone isn't a vision board anymore because I just felt like that was something that was too like a lot of other people would see it and it was just too in my face all the time. So my phone is just a picture that makes me really happy. But my laptop, whenever I use it for work and I use it like for creative things. And so having my vision board in the background is just so motivating, so energizing. I'm like, yes, okay, I got this. And so I make a digital vision board and I like to do a collage of different things. And I used to just do one vision board for the year, but now I have a different system, which I'm going to tell you about in detail. So there are many pros and cons of just doing one vision board. I mean, it's one and done. You can have your like long-term goals on it. You can have all these different things. But what I found with a 1-year vision board or even like a lifetime vision board was that my sense of time was really warped. I sometimes can't wrap my head around how long or short 1 year is. And so I feel like I kept putting goals that were either too distant or too far, like close. And it just felt really strange. Like I kept putting things that felt so out of my reach, that it didn't feel expansive. It felt anxiety inducing. And so now I have shorter term vision boards, so that when I put stuff on my longer term vision board, I don't look at it every day. So I have one space that I've made, and I don't use this as my laptop screensaver. It's just a document in my Canva, in the archives. And that is kind of like what I want for my long term, like either for the year or like for further on in the future. And it is pictures of different areas of my life that I want. And now what I do is I make a vision board for each season. So because I'm a business girly, I run my own company, for context. I like to do it by quarter, but it doesn't have to be done by business quarter. You can do it by seasons, like winter, spring, summer, autumn, all these things. But I like to do it because I kind of know where I'm going to be every 3 months, like where I'm going to live, what my life is going to look like. And using that anchor of kind of knowing like my certain circumstances, I find it really nice to be like, okay, how can I make my life as exciting as possible with like these kind of given things? And that feels really good. So I put like things I know that are going to happen. Like if I know I'm going to go on a trip, if it's already planned, I'll put a picture of the place I'm going to go to, and I'll put like other things that I know that are happening. And then I can put slightly more mundane things, because when we put a vision board up, like social media often tells us like, oh, you must put like a sports car on it, or like Forbes 30 under 30, or like £1 million or whatever. Like you are allowed to put like slightly mundane, romanticizing your life things on your vision board. Like you are allowed to put your morning matcha on your vision board if you want to be the kind of person that is able to get a sweet treat every day or every now and often. Like you are allowed to put your, like, I put my nightstand on my vision board because I wanted to make my room as cozy and comfortable and get into more of a routine. And so they're allowed to be more mundane things. And then when you do that, you kind of normalize the other big things and you mix them up with like the bigger, more aspirational things, because your brain is like, if these are all in the same ecosystem, then they all must be the same level of attainability, even if that's not the case. In your like rational mind, that's what your brain starts to feel like, or at least that's what my brain starts to feel like. I'm not a neuroscientist, so, but this is what I've experienced. And then what I really, really, really like to do is, as soon as the thing that has happened happens, like if something I say or put as a picture happens, like for example, I had my graduation for university yesterday, and I had a generic picture from like the internet of my university graduation ceremony, but then I swapped it for my own graduation ceremony pictures, because when you see your own pictures and your own life and your own face on your vision board, again, your brain is just like, that is so normal. That is so normal. That's me. That's my life. What are you talking about? And so now I like to swap the pictures out. And the more I swap them, the more it turns into this fun game of like, oh my God, wait, that's my life. That's my life. That's my life. That's my life. And so the other things that are on there just feel like that's going to be my life eventually as well. And it just brings so much positivity and gratitude that like things that I really wanted in the past are now things that are just normal in my life now. And so it normalizes your blessings. And I think that's so important. And doing gratitude is so important. And realizing that you might not be where you want to be right now, but you are where you wanted to be in the past right now. There is a version of you that would have dreamed to be where you are now. And so normalizing that and just being like, yeah, I live in like a version of my dream reality. And even if you don't, telling yourself that there are bits of the life that you want to live and the life that you do live right now is way more empowering than creating this really abstract collage of things that feel really aspirational, out of reach, out of touch. Like it's not fun. You have to make it fun. But another thing, like don't make your vision board in an environment where you're put under pressure. Like don't make it when you're in a bad mood or when you're in a rush or like when you're just not feeling good. Make it into like a ritual. You can do it with your friends. Like I love making vision boards with my friends, or do it when you're in a good mood or when you're about to start something new. Like make it into occasion, put some nice music on, all these things. And like I said, just put some good things that are already existing in your life on there as well, because gratitude is so important. When you realize that you already have things that you want, that you're so abundant, like it helps create more opportunity because you don't feel like nothing is going your way. When you practice gratitude, you feel like things are going your way, and so you assume that things are going to continue to go your way. And so that is really important. And now I also like to leave empty space on my vision board for surprises, because life has a way of surprising you. And I've started to realize that sometimes life's plan for me is better than my plan for life, because there's been a few times where I've wanted something and something completely different has happened, and then I look back and I'm like, wow, thank God I didn't get what I wanted. Thank God, like, I got something different, because like I said, life's plan for me was better than my plan for life. When you control the different ways that you can get the one very specific thing, sometimes it doesn't happen because you are being rerouted into something else. And I also want to talk about how it's not this whole idea of rejection as redirection. Sometimes you get exactly what you want, you just don't get it in the way and the time and that, like, how that you want. And I'm going to give you the example of the incubator that I'm in. So I have an office for my business, and I work through an incubator, which is basically just like an ecosystem created by my university that supports people that want to start their own company, gives them office space, gives them mentors, gives them resources. And I really wanted to get in, and I applied like for the thing, and I didn't get in, and they told me that they didn't like my idea, and I ended up applying 6 months down the line with a new idea, having done lots of different courses with this incubator. And I got in at the perfect time. Like, the day I got in was the day I finished university, so I didn't have to do both of the things at the same time. I joined the same cohort as like one of my friends from childhood, one of my friends on my course, another friend of mine. Like, I made all these friends. I joined at a time where I was living near the incubator, where it just felt like way better for my life. And so remember that if you're not getting what you want, you're probably just on the scenic route. There's certain things that are on my vision board that haven't happened for a long time, and now I just have faith that they're going to happen. They're just not happening yet, because there's a few other little baby things that are going to happen in order for the big thing to happen. And the baby things are also beautiful. That's the whole point of the scenic route. You might stop a few more times than you would have if you took the express route, but with the scenic route, you see so many cool things. You learn so many cool things. You meet so many cool people. And so it's about creating detachment. When you put something on your vision board, if you put it on there with this with or without you energy of, I will be happy, I will still live my dream life without this one specific thing, you're a winner. Because then no one, no thing, no person, no experience can take away from the fact that you are already living your dream life. And that's what I mean by saying put things that are already good about your life on there, because when you do, you realize there's so many cool things happening. And if there's so many cool things that are happening, then cool things are going to continue to happen. Like, that's just like momentum, right? And so detachment, when you put things on your vision board with detachment, it's like magic. There's certain things that like I've really, really, really wanted for a very long time that haven't happened. But there's things that I'll like kind of want, and I'll put them on the board and I'll forget about it, and then literally my life will be exactly as the picture was. Like certain trips, I'm going to give you an example. So I made a vision board last year, and I put a picture of Italy on there because I was traveling, I was living abroad in Spain, and one of my good friends was living abroad in Italy, and I really wanted to visit her in Italy. And so I put a picture of Rome on there to visit. And when I moved to Spain, I ended up having visa issues, which meant that I couldn't leave Spain while I was there. And so that meant no Italy trip because I couldn't leave Spain. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess like that's just not going to happen. It's not a big deal. I'll probably go to Italy at some point in my life. It's fine. When I moved back to my hometown, I, again, was just not thinking about Italy at all. My mum told me that she wanted to go on a surprise trip to surprise some family who was in Italy. And she asked if I wanted to come with her. She called me one day and she was like, I'm going to go. Do you want to come? Should I book you a ticket? And I was like, what? Hello? And so the same year that I put that picture and I thought it wasn't going to happen, there's no way, I don't know how it's going to happen, and I moved on with my life, I went on the trip. Yes, it was a different trip. I didn't get to stay with the friend that I was planning to, but I still had so much fun. I ended up hanging out with my cousins who I hadn't seen in like 4 or 5 years. We had the best time. And so again, allow yourself to be surprised by life. And if something is still on there that you still want, it will happen. You just have to give it time. You just have to let it come in a different way. And honestly, like sometimes you outgrow your dreams and your visions, and that's okay because you're allowed to change. And if you change, that's a good thing. That's a sign of progress, right? And so if something no longer feels aligned, you can take it off. You can put it in the archives. There's things that aren't visions of mine anymore. Like there was things that I wanted some time ago that I just don't really care about anymore, and that's okay. And when you get new dreams, sometimes you outgrow your old dreams, and that's fine. And so like make space for that and realize that your vision board isn't just like a collage or an image. It's kind of like when you're co-creating with like some other, again, this is going to sound very woo-woo, but it's kind of like when you're co-creating with some like other higher power, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, and you're writing code. You're writing the code of what you want, and then like the actual display will just like do whatever it wants, you know, like it will like process it in its own way. And so you have to just write the code, write what you want, set your intentions, and allow it to happen. Let the program run itself. You can't do every part of the process. Just have some detachment. And then in terms of like actual practical tips, there's a few little things. Number one, start putting pictures of people that look like you. I used to put blonde. I mean, now my hair's like dyed, so I do kind of look a little bit more blonde, but I have naturally jet black hair. And when I was younger, I'd put like white women with blonde hair on my vision board meant to represent me. My brain was just like, that's simply not you. And so I'd put like pictures of people like doing certain things that looked nothing like me. And now I try and keep the pictures faceless. I crop the face out because like then my brain doesn't like see another person, or like I use like the back of someone's head or like just like the hands or whatever. Also, I like to use pictures that show what the experience would look like from the perspective of the person. So like from the first person rather than the third person. So like, for example, if I'm putting a podcast studio, rather than doing a podcast studio picture of like me talking, the view of like, what am I seeing right now? That kind of thing. Because then that's kind of cool as well, because you can see it through the eyes of your future self. And then another thing is I like to kind of make categories. So I have like a health corner, career corner, friendships corner, relationships corner, all these things. And then, because I'm so extra, I also like making a vision book. Now, you don't have to do this, but I really enjoy doing this. And I basically take each individual area of my life and I make a mini vision board for it, like 5 or 6 pictures. And then I write really specific journal prompts of like, what do I want from this area of my life? How do I want it to feel? And I get really specific with it. And then I also like get ChatGPT to write me a nervous system regulation EFT script, because I've realized that a lot of this like manifestation vision boarding things is like not just setting the intentions, but feeling ready to receive it. Sometimes when you get what you want, you freak out because you don't feel like you're worthy of it. And so how can you allow yourself to feel good receiving what you want to get? There's been so many blessings that have come my way this year, and I'm so, so, so grateful. This has really been like an amazing year of my life. But at the same time, there's been times where I've got what I wanted and it has put me in total shutdown mode. When I ended up getting the best grades in my course and getting my dissertation nominated for the national prize and like getting a first, all these things, I went into like shutdown mode. I was like, oh my God, everyone's going to hate me. Everyone's going to think I'm entitled. Everyone's going to think I'm a bad person. When I ended up like going viral on TikTok for a video I made about learning to learn, I went into like a complete freak out. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get like hate comments, all these things. And so how can you make your body feel safe around receiving what you want to get is so, 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 so important. So now I also do like an EFT script, and I like to make a vision book, and I don't look at it regularly. I've made it and it's just chilling in my room. And sometimes when I want inspiration of like what I'm doing with my life, like I like to look through it, and it's like a catalog of like, okay, this. But I like to use different vision boards for different purposes. So like I said, I have a long-term vision board, which has my big life goals and plans. And that is just chilling somewhere in the archives in my computer. And that I don't look at often. But when something big does happen, I change it. I'm grateful for it. I celebrate it. And then when I outgrow something that I wanted, I move it off as well. And that's just there. But that doesn't get looked at very often. Then I have my seasonal vision board, which is my computer lock screen, and that is like all the things I want from that season, all the good things that are happening, the things to look forward to, and I swap the pictures out. And it's so fun because by the end of like 3 months, seasons, business quarters, I see how much progress has been made. Because sometimes when we're so focused on the big milestones, we forget all about the day-to-day little wins that we experience every day, and how lucky we are to be already living this amazing version of our lives. And then I also have the vision book, which is something really extra that I do at the start and end of like a calendar year. And then I don't look at it often, but it just really helps me get into this like planning, setting my intentions mindset. And I take my time. I don't do that all in one sitting. That's another thing. You don't have to do your vision board all in one setting. You can just do it little and often, because if you are making that from a space of rushing and feeling overwhelmed, then it's not like good, expansive, joyful energy. I've learned the hard way that fun is a secret sauce to everything. Like, it truly is. So if you are making a vision board and setting your intentions and your goals, if you do it from a place of fun and joy, you are so much more likely to get it done than if you do it from a place of like desperation, rushing, anxiety. So whatever you do, just make sure that you make it fun, do it with your friends, and also like learn to be a little bit more discerning with who you share your visions with. I am a very open person, and I used to just like show everyone like my vision board and like, here's my vision book, here's this. And I realized that that wasn't a good idea, because I'd sometimes have people be like, that's so unrealistic, or like, that's a lot of money, or why do you think you could do that? Or like, wow, like, and so sometimes you let other people's insecurities or anxieties impact you and what you want for yourself. And so it's allowed to be private. It's allowed to be private. At the same time, I love sharing my goals with my friends. And when you can be delusional with your friends together, like, that is so powerful. When you egg each other on, when you're like, yes, we are going to make it. We are going to do exactly what we want. That is so powerful. And so just every person does it in such an individual way. And there's going to be so many different fun ways that you can do it. One way that I have been loving recently has been doing a bingo. I don't know if you guys know what a bingo is. It's like a very, very British thing. But I now make like a table, and I don't put any pictures on it. I put text of what I want. So like, for example, I wrote like graduate with a first. I put go to Germany. I put like start a business on my 2025 bingo. And every time those things happened, I put a picture from my camera roll on the bingo. And now I have like rows and columns. And then it's so cool, because as I've gone through the year, just all these new things have been unlocking, and I left some squares empty, like I said, for surprises, because you just have to let life surprise you. And when you keep space for surprises, then you can accept them, receive them, celebrate them when they happen. And so that is so important. I think realizing that you and life, or universe, God, whatever is happening, you co-create your experiences together. So just enjoying it, like setting the kind of intentions, and then allowing the how, what, when, why to set itself, and just make the plan in the meantime. Like, if you're not a spiritual manifesty person, think of it as vision, mission, strategy. You set the vision, you make the mission of like, this is what I want, this is why I want it, and then you make the strategy and you say, okay, I want this, how can I make it happen? And by making it visual, you make it just more likely to happen, because you have a very specific visual representation of what you want. I think everyone should have a vision board. When I went to India for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, I made my grandparents make vision boards. I made them for all of them. I made my mom a vision board with her. So get the people in your life onto it as well, because it's just so nice to feel energized, motivated to do things with your life, and also just realize that you are living a version of your dream life, and be grateful. Like, there is no negative side effect of doing it. The only thing I will say is, again, make sure that you are not making it from a place of lack, desperation, or anxiety, because sometimes when we put things that feel so far away from where we are, we feel shit about ourselves. And so when you do that, when you feel that way, my trick is just to make a gratitude board and just make a nice collage of things that are going well in your life. Make a vision board of all the things that you're grateful for. Don't add any crazy things onto it. Just literally like make your garden, your cup of tea, your bedroom, your pet, your mom, like whatever. And that again is so energizing. So use it as a tool to uplift you, to reroute you, to center you, to ground you, to motivate you, to challenge you. And it's going to bring miracles into your life, I promise you. So if you like this, comment any questions you have around vision boards. Please send me your vision boards. I would love to see them. And yeah, this is your sign to go make a vision board. If you haven't already, it is life-changing. And I'm not being exaggerating. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It is life-changing. I hope you like this episode. Let me know what else you want to see. Comment down below. Stay tuned for another episode. And next week we'll be back with another cool conversation and interview. So the episode the week after that. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I love you. Bye-bye.